It sounds like it's like a Broadway or a musical or something. And I see someone running like sideways and then doing like a
West Side Story?
boom. Bow.
That's kind of another beat. I really liked it, and I love Broadway. You know that.
I know. I can't believe that I only gave Hamilton 10 minutes.
I know. It was so good. Have I not been listening to it nonstop?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I think it was just the day for me. It was hard to just try to sit into a 2-hour and 40-minute thing, and I was like...
And you didn't really understand that you were going into... Like, for me, like, when I watch musicals, I kind of like to know a little background, and I didn't know that much, except, obviously, the founding father. But I had to learn this whole story, because he kind of had a little scandalous background, because he ended up, like, cheating on his wife, and then he came out with the Reynolds pamphlet and came clean, and it was just really, really good. But there was so much I didn't know that I was sitting there hearing the songs and just really trying to focus and figure out, like, what was happening in the story and who was who on stage. So for the first time, I can understand why you were like, gosh, this is going to be a lot to consume and understand if you don't really know.
I think for me, it was just, I'm very into history at this point. And I really want to hear the fine details. Even when you come in and like say, hey, and you have if I'm watching something, if it has to do with education, I have to pause because I don't want to miss one thing. And I just felt like rap's my favorite genre. Yeah. But to learn while listening, when I care so much about wanting to know this story, I found myself trying to hear, and if I missed words and then I missed the education of it. So I don't know. I was just in a weird place that day, but I do want to watch it. But
I'll rewatch it with you.
Maybe we'll do it on a different day where I'm ready to unplug. I had just things to do, and I kept thinking of those. I think that's why I was distracted. So I'm glad I didn't like force it, because I really do want to enjoy it.
It was so good.
Yeah.
We'll rewatch it.
Yeah. Do you have any water in here?
Nope.
Let me go grab a water.
Go grab that water, baby. That was quick.
Yeah, that happens every time I drink coffee. It's fine in real life, but I'm aware because I'm close to the mic.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to move this back, but...
Move it back. Well, let's hop into it today, my dear.
Yeah, let's hop into it. Welcome, everyone, to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It's the hip thing.
It is the hip thing.
It's the hip thing. Hip thing to do. Hitting that subscribe button. Like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. We've been putting out videos for a couple years now. Vlogs, interviews, and we have a lot of fun here. We try to entertain, inspire, or educate, or all three. Sometimes we nail all three. Sometimes it only calls for one of the three. But that's our vibe that we try to do and have a good time and shed some light and positivity.
Yeah.
You know, I think the world needs a little of that right now, and we try to lead by example and be positive and have tough and thoughtful conversations, but at the same time, look at things positively as well. So there's a lot of good that goes on in the world, and sometimes it gets overshadowed, and there's so many good people and so many good things. So that's what we stand for here, and we like to have a lot of fun. And today we have another Days of Our Lives recap episode that I want to hop into, but I also want to make something clear because I confused people last week. When I said there was only like 9 episodes left, I meant 9 recap episodes. But of Sunny and Will in general, maybe 15. I have it written down. So I'm still through August and July. There's going to be a little lull in July, though.
Well, and you're saying recap episodes because we do this weekly here.
Yes.
And then every now and then until your end date, there are a couple weeks that I don't think you air. Is that correct?
Just one.
Just one.
So
okay.
It's not next week. It's the week after. So we're going to implement, because when Wilson leaves, we want to implement, and we've kind of become accustomed to the Friday Q&A.
Yes.
So I think we're going to experiment that week where people can just ask us questions. So we'll make every Friday episode after the day's recap is done just about Freddie and Alyssa, not recap, but a Q&A so that we can, hear from the audience and have them, write down questions or tweet us or whatever, and we can make an episode based around their suggestions.
Love it.
So we'll do that. But yeah, Wilson's around for another 7 or 8 weeks. And then that's about how many recap episodes that we have for that.
Countdown. I feel like you were saying 13 weeks yesterday.
We started when there was like 16.
Oh my gosh.
So, but I will say there's a lot of really this year. If with Wilson leaving this year, it just so happened to work out was so meaty for me.
Yeah.
I got to work with so many amazing people this week, which I can't wait to talk about my dad's wedding or lack thereof. So, and then, so I want to hop into it. But before, I just want to have a little word here with our sponsor. Our sponsor is Reset. Natural stress support. Like we were saying earlier, in crazy times, why not give yourself a little stress relief in a natural way? I love their branding too. Not today's stress, not tonight's stress. Calm and unwind. They're all natural supplements. The morning is the calming, and it has a nice little citrus mint. The night is the unwind, and has a little lavender mint. And I like to read from the box here so I get this right. Caffeine-free and melatonin-free, sourced from natural ingredients, vegan, GMO-free, made right here in the USA. Known to ease stress, help the nervous system, stimulate the body's natural defenses for immunity, and promote relaxation.
Thank you, Reset.
Reset's great. Yeah, and if you want to check out their website and try the products, you can go to r3set.com, and at checkout, use NoStressFA, and they will give you 10% off of your order because we sent you.
Yep.
So thank you, Reset. We appreciate your mission, and we appreciate your support.
Stress.
Not tonight, stress. See, I have to have my coffee first, and then I'm going to unwind. Because we kind of drink coffee late now, but we're getting used to it.
I just drank so much coffee. And what time is it? Like 7:30? 8:30? I'm also nervous. Last time I drank this much coffee before a podcast, we were so
we were like Looney Tunes,
yeah,
right?
So apologies in advance, kids.
Yeah, but we're going to have fun with it. Because there's something about the night being that we're now hanging out.
Yeah.
When we do it in the morning, there's still a to-do list. This is in between.
This is
We're now...
true.
We have a oven pizza waiting for us, and we're going to do a couple little last-minute details of emails, and then we're just going to chill.
Yep.
So I have this energy when we do it.
True, because I'm feeling like super relaxed. Like,
we're done.
My bubble bath in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? So
we're able just to hang out and enjoy, so it changes the vibe. And when Days of Our Lives ends, like I'm not on Friday. We're filming this Thursday night. When we have to watch the episode
day of
at 1 or 2 and then shoot it, I have to hurry up and try to edit it and get it out at a reasonable hour. Where now I'm going to edit. I have to edit this. So that'll be 3 hours.
Well, but that's
me sitting down. I'm eating, looking up YouTube videos, and I have fun doing it. But that's usually the process. But yeah, this week, see, here's already our first little thing. I forgot. I want to give a shout out to 3 new producers. This is the segment of the show where it's not even me giving shouts to producers. It's Freddie trying to pronounce last names. So here we go. In this edition of Freddie pronouncing last names. Vito J. La Sorenza. Vito J. La Sorenza. I think I nailed that.
I think
that
you
sounds,
nailed it too.
Maybe it's my confidence in saying it. Tammy Govia.
Woo-woo.
Govia.
Love you,
Tammy. Are we pronouncing it right? Which one is it?
Correct. I think
Govia.
Govia is...
Govia sounds more like a last name. But now if it's the other way, she's going to be like, what, you don't like my last name?
We love you, Tammy.
We love you, Tammy. And Nancy Lou. We love you too.
What's up, Nancy?
So Vito, Tammy, and Nancy, thank you so much. And if you are interested in learning more about becoming a producer of the Freddie Alyssa Show, we have opened it up, and you get some behind the scenes and a lot of cool videos and shout outs and live streams, which we're doing Sunday
the 12th.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about that, in the description section, we've got the link so you can do your research and all that good stuff. So let's hop into this week's.
Okay, let me start this off by asking you a very important question I think everyone wants to know. Was that really bacon? And was it delicious? Because I about died when that scene happened. It was so funny. It's so you.
It almost felt improv, but it wasn't. Because and I love when we have those moments, but even Wally's reaction, because I really love bacon, and it just came off. I had to call. I was like, "This is so me," and I got that moment of like, "You gonna finish that?" And he's just like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really like bacon."
So funny.
But
so is that really bacon?
It was really bacon, yeah. And it was.
Did you eat it?
I took a couple bites, but it's when it comes to eating, I've talked about this before, but there's tally lights on the camera. So I've shared this before. There's 3 cameras that are, well, let's look this way because our cameras are here. So imagine there'd be another camera and then these 2 cameras here. And when it was on me, there's a red tally light that comes on. So when we eat or drink, I sometimes like to play with my food, and then right as I see my tally light go off, that's when I know I'm not on camera. So I don't put things in my mouth. I'll act like I'm about to.
When you're off camera.
Yeah, so there, I even caught it where we were all taking a shot, me, Uncle Vic, and my dad on the show. We were all taking a shot, and I didn't want to drink it. It wasn't real alcohol, but it was whatever it was. I didn't want to like put it in my mouth. Or you know what? You know what it was?
I feel like I know this story, but tell me.
No, I don't think I told you this. So we had to redo the scene a couple times, and the glasses kept getting mixed up. And I didn't want to sip off of anyone else's glasses. I don't drink off anybody but you.
Anyone ever, yeah.
So I didn't want to say, hey, props, can I get a new like glass? Then I seem like this like in like privileged actor, entitled guy of like, hey, can I get a clean glass, please? So I said, well, how am I going to do this? So when we all cheers our glasses, you'll see that I'm bringing it up to my mouth, and I timed it where my tally light goes off, so I never had to drink it. So it cuts to Wally. So you all think I'm going up, but it cuts before it reaches my mouth. So I do that a lot when I'm eating, because if you're eating, sometimes your mouth gets dry afterwards, or it just becomes too much.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with grocery bags. There's like prop grocery bags that when they're brown, you can all imagine the brown paper bags are noisy as hell. Mm-hmm. So they look like they're brown regular bags, but they're made of a soft material that doesn't make noise. So when we set it down, you don't hear the.
Interesting.
So same thing when we eat. If I'm like, yeah, like Dad, like you and like you, it's just already gross, and to me, it's not the kind of like in a raw indie film you can eat because there's more of breathing. Mm-hmm. The days in soaps and a lot of shows are very systematic, where there is no time to breathe and just eat and let the camera sit on someone for 10 seconds. It's very let's make sure that it's tight. That's the other thing. We get that a lot. A note of like, hey, can you just tighten it up a little? Mm-hmm. So we don't take as long as beats in between.
So then, what is Wally's character name? He plays your dad?
Justin.
So he had a lot going on this week. He
did. And I got to tell you, I love, and I know I've said this a million times, but we keep getting the material. That last year, this past year, we had so much material together. And when I was sitting there talking with him, that is what soap operas are made of. Yeah. 2 people at a table, talking, having a roller coaster of emotion, and just being there. And you could see during those scenes the 9 years of chemistry that me and Wally've built. Yeah. And then when he goes and clears out his apartment, or Kayla's apartment, after he leaves, doesn't get married, I remember those scenes like they were yesterday, because there are some of my last ones. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to go there and play with the records. And I remember doing that scene. And yet again, you just let it breathe. Yeah. You just let it breathe, and you're just there for the other actor, because it was all about him. This whole week was very not on me, but kind of a supporting. Yeah. So you just want to be there for your fellow actor and allow them to be emotional and just kind of be here.
He did so good.
Yeah.
He both did.
He's great. And then Judy got to come back.
I know. Okay, so she plays Bonnie, who is that like a twin or something?
I don't know, because I never interacted with her really, so I don't know the backstory of how. Got it. I don't think it's a twin. I don't know.
Who knows? But
it was Bonnie.
Okay. I see. That's why I love soaps, though, because they can literally do whatever they want. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It was great to see them, and then we just got to sit there during the wedding and enjoy that, and so. Yeah, it was really great. It was a good week, and I just enjoy that I got to work with Matthew Ashford for a couple scenes. And Missy Reeves, even though we didn't communicate, I think we actually made a joke that day, because we were in the same scene, but we were never seen together in the same shot, even though there was only 6 people there. So that was interesting. I got to work with Stephen Nichols.
Yes.
Him and I didn't get to work together much. So yeah, overall, I'm just very happy that I really got to shine like this last year.
Yeah.
Working with people's storylines, so I'm feeling good about it. And I love how they always bring in the Greek heritage, if you will, when we're doing the shots and all of that. And it was funny because of our last podcast we did, and I was talking about being Italian. A lot of people would never assume because my last name is Smith.
Sure.
And we did I have 3 full-blooded grandparents, and then my dad's dad is not, and that's where Smith comes from. But my dad's mom, her maiden name was Domenico. She's full-blooded Italian. My mom's mom is full-blooded Italian. Her maiden name was Norteriani. And my mom's dad is Trident. And his whole family lineage was Stanziano. And so I grew up with 3 full-blooded grandparents. And then I grew up when I think I was like 69, 70% DNA-wise.
We did. What was that?
23andMe.
23andMe. That's right.
Yep.
That's so crazy. And it's so interesting that we kind of are in the same boat where your last name doesn't really show that you're Italian and mine doesn't show that I'm Hispanic, even though my father is that side's Hispanic, but he was adopted. So,
yeah.
Like it sounds super not Latin.
Yeah, like how we have different, yeah. Well, it's also interesting because you'll be the first, when we have a kid, not you, our kid will be the first in my bloodline, of my bloodline, in eternity, that isn't going to be in Europe, and then a part of, like, it was, I think, like a couple percentage in Africa, and then 98% was in Europe, mostly in Italy, and then somewhere else, but that was it. There was no other speck of DNA from anywhere in the world.
Sorry.
But our kid will be the first one that will have South American. You were splattered everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you have about 15%, I think. 15%?
I think that's correct.
Or what was it? What was the actual city called? Chihuahua?
Chihuahua, Mexico.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? We should relook at all of that because
Yeah.
I had a lot happening on that map. I am such a mutt.
I know. It'll be interesting to see how our kid. We got off topic here.
I know.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because someone was asking about that, and I was like, yeah, I've
know.
never. When I first moved to, or right before I moved to LA, there was an agent who was one of the big boys at the time that I was really looking up to, but I was more of a punk back then. And just didn't care about what people thought. And then I really cared what people thought, and now I've grown to not care what people think.
Again.
But I went through a huge 10-year thing where you care about what everyone says. But back then, he was just like, your name's too boring. Like Freddie Smith, like it's too boring. What's your mom's maiden name? You should go by Freddie Trident or Freddie Stanziano. And I was like, but I'm not that. I'm not Freddie Trident, and I'm not Freddie Stanziano.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to keep Freddie Smith. And I never ended up signing with them. And they were just making a suggestion.
They always do.
But I was like, nah.
It's so funny we both did that because in the beginning I remember I went by Alyssa Taylor, but Taylor was my grandparents' last name. But then like eventually I was kind of like, I'm Alyssa Tabbitt. Let me just be me.
You did go by Alyssa Taylor.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds.
What was wrong with Tabbitt?
I don't know. It was just probably like one of those sessions where you're talking and you're like, well, that sounds good. Let's try that. Literally, who knows?
Can I toss you a bit of conspiracy?
Let's hear it.
And this is more on the negative side.
Okay.
But it's a theory.
Okay.
Do you think the people who suggest these things, it's their first step in wanting to control the relationship, and you feel a little devoted to them, that they're creating an identity so that one day when they're sitting around they can say,
I made that.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a lot of that out here.
Yeah, there really is though. But we see now because we've grown older and wiser.
But how do you ever teach people?
I don't know.
They have to go through it.
Yeah.
Because even seeing the whole TikTok hype house, all that drama. For those of you who don't know, there's the app TikTok, which is just huge in the age range of like 14 to 21. We're on it. We're not as active as we used to be, but they have a house where all these influencers with millions and millions of followers went to this house. And even though the big famous Charli D'Amelio has a great family, and you feel like having a great family who's smart and responsible can guide their young, famous overnight 16-year-old daughter, the fact that she's out here living in a house with a bunch of other people, I don't want anything bad to happen, but you've just seen this story way too many times, and it just sadly, it's just not for children.
Well, and I think though too, to be fair, there are a lot of people who live in this house who are like 18 to 21, say, and I think she goes and stays there with her sister who's older who might live there. But she was dating this guy named Lil Huddy, and he lives in this house, I believe. And it turns out like he kissed another girl, and there's just all this drama and beef, but they're going back and forth on Twitter, and it's so crazy that you can watch it live. That every conversation they're having and the stories she's posting, and then he's writing back, and now he's scared that this guy is gonna go with his friends to the hype house and like jump him. Like, just like, you guys, to be young.
Do you see though how sometimes when you talk to somebody who's like 57 and they're going, "What in the F are you kids talking about? What is a hype house and what is tactic? This is ridiculous. Go get a job."
Yes. They're just like, I can't.
But I can see it. It's ludicrous. The whole thing's ludicrous. But as much as I like to pile on because I understand the humor in this, I also understand the downside of what could happen. But I also see the upside that these kids, if they're managed right and someone actually cares about them, they can become so financially stable and set for generations with this attention.
Yeah.
And they could use this platform to share really great stuff with the world. But now people who are just random people who dance well or who have a great viral thing now get gifted with all this power.
Yeah.
On top of, think about how hard it was for us to navigate this when social media wasn't in the limelight when we were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm just now, I feel mature enough. I mean, I would have handled it, and we did handle it well since 2015.
Yeah.
But now, especially as our platform is growing, we're mature enough to handle the responsibility of a growing platform. If you gave us almost 500,000 followers at 21, oof, we would have been fine.
Sure,
but just the
but
responsibility wouldn't have been...
Well, and then you got to think, too, for someone like Charli, she was the 16-year-old girl who, I think she was on the app first when it was Musical.ly, and you just dance a lot and you'd sing a lot, and she was a dancer, and so her friends would be like, come over, let's choreograph some stuff, you're a great dancer, and they'd start making TikTok videos, and literally, overnight, she woke up to millions of followers, all because, she's a great dancer, and just what could that be like? To be that young. Luckily, she seems like she comes from a good family, so like you mentioned, they're able to help navigate, but
I come from a great family, and I made a lot of mistakes. Because you just go through phases where you think you know more than your parents for a second.
Of course.
And then you look back, and you're just like, oh my God. Like, me and my mom now, we talk about it. Like, there's times that I'll just be on the phone, and we're just like, and we have these conversations that I was like, there's enough challenges in life of things that happen to you that I don't want to create or make decisions that will add to that. We made a lot of decisions personally in life that created problems and challenges and adversity. There's enough of that in life that's just going to happen. You're going to lose family members. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Why would we inflict financial strain and stupidity and all this stuff on ourselves? But when you're kids, you just don't understand that.
You have to learn, or how are you ever going to know? And I remember a few years ago, too, I think you and I were having this conversation, and then, I don't know, it was just this moment where I was like, wow, that saying, mama knows best, really rings true. Because everything I look at in my life that my mom would always say and give me advice on, she just knew because she lived it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why your parents always, like, you're like, okay, mom and dad. They're like, no, we know that person's going to be bad. We've lived it. We've seen. We've been young once, too. Like when you're in high school, whatever it is, and... But I guess you got to learn. You got to go through something to really let it soak in, and you can move on with life.
But think about that just in real life. Everyone has to learn how to grow up in real life. Then there's a tiny fraction of a percentage of people that do the same thing, but with fame and unlimited resources. A lot of personal growth happens when you don't have money.
Yep.
Because you have to be creative. You have to mend relationships, learn new skills. You have to roll up your sleeves and go, all right, how do I get better? But if you're rich at 20, you just go, I'll hire an assistant. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to learn to set up all this equipment. Hire somebody, get the best, record it, edit it. I don't want to learn and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
But there's something about getting so rich and famous young that it rarely works out. But I don't know if a younger generation will help. But I just see these kids, 18, 20, 21. Do you know they're at the clubs?
Of course. But it's so funny you bring that up, because have you been seeing what's been going on with Britney Spears?
Mm-mm.
Because this whole Free Britney hashtag has gone viral, and it's been viral for many, many years, because back in 2009, she kind of had, I think it was 2009, she had her little mini breakdown where she shaved her head. And if you remember her career, she got real famous, and I mean famous, really fast. She was like 16 years old. She's been working her whole life, doing all of these tours, the most popular celebrity in the world. I mean, you can look up videos where there are dozens and dozens and dozens of paparazzi just on her car with videos and cameras, and they're like, Britney, Britney, Britney. And I was actually on TikTok the other day, and I saw that all these paparazzi were surrounding her car. She was at McDonald's trying to get, her order, and she had the window down, and these paparazzi were inside of her window, and she was trying to order, and they're like, Britney, what do you want? What do you want? We'll tell them. And she's like, I'll take a soda and a strawberry ice cream. Like, she literally had to talk to them because they were in her face. Like, there were so many. So imagine growing up like that. That's your life. 2009, had a little mini breakdown. And then after that, this whole thing happened with her, where her dad had the entire team, and they all ended up going to... basically, he has control over her entire life. She can't make any decisions. Since 2009, she still has it today as like a 39-year-old woman. She can't see her kids when she wants. She can't decide when she wants. She can't drive. She can't make any trips anywhere. And they say that her boyfriend is like on the payroll to keep an eye on her. Like, it's really, really sad. And so everyone's basically saying that the dad and the team is feeding her like all these different types of medications to keep her like kind of confused and under control, and they've been putting her into the psych ward when she shouldn't be going. Like, it's a disaster, whatever is happening. But everyone wants her to be free, because the whole reason they have this is so they have control over her brand and her money, and they keep making her do these tours. She did 4 different tours while she's been under this, made them millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's like, so she can go and be a workhorse, but she can't go drive when she wants to. She doesn't want to be in this. This is something that happened in 2009 because of like her meltdown, which, hey, maybe it was appropriate back then. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, but it's going viral on the internet because everyone's like, you need to free her. Like, this is insane.
But there's a lot of stories about what possibly could have gone down. But yet again, it just goes back to that level of fame, and then when you get people who are involved with the money and yeah, I mean, how is no one just talking with her? But when you get to that level of fame and money, the legal wall around it, it's probably so hard.
It's just very peculiar. I've had a lot of conversations with different friends. Even the people in the comment section are like, this isn't Britney, you need to free her. Like, it's just really interesting stuff, down to the point that she now has like a gap in between her teeth, which she never had before. And I noticed it right away. I was like, I've been a fan of her since I was a kid. And people are saying that she had something done to her teeth, and it usually will last, say like 15 years. And because she doesn't have access to her money, she's not able to go get this fixed. Like, just crazy stuff like that. I've read stories that when she was in Vegas doing her residency, she wanted to go and get like all these bouquets of flowers, and she didn't have the money to do it. So like one of her security guards went and bought her flowers. And like, this woman is worth a lot of money. but they don't give her access to it because everything always comes down to the dollar, you know?
That is crazy.
Isn't it? So there's a lot.
That's the most extreme end of it all.
Yeah.
Remember she was at the GLAAD Awards? She popped up from like out of
I
nowhere.
don't remember because I was not with you.
Why weren't you there that time?
There's the one time I didn't go, and remember you took that video? It was you and Christopher Sean?
Christopher Sean took it.
And you're like, babe, look who's right here. And that's like the one celebrity in the world I would die to meet. I don't care about many, but Britney's life. That's why free Brit. But
that's
yeah,
nuts.
I wasn't there. She was right there with you.
Like almost arms. Yeah, I didn't even know it was her at first because you're kind of in your own world. And then 3 years ago, the same thing happened with Steve Harvey. You're waiting in this line, and then Steve Harvey just appeared out of nowhere. And then that year,
Emmys, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I want to look into that. That's crazy.
I know.
Well, all this stuff's coming out. Social media is allowing so much garbage and poison to just be let out so that we can all just become better.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really get away with much like that anymore, which is a good thing.
I mean, hopefully not, right? But there's still a lot of crazy stuff happening out there, and you know, at least there is a platform though to bring people together to try and, you know, put an end to all the different issues. There's a lot of stuff happening out there.
Yeah, the year just keeps getting more and more. Hope everyone's enjoying the day's recap episode.
Britney Spears.
As soon as we got off topic, I forgot for a second. I was like, wait, but.
Well, to kind of pivot back, is there anything else with days that we should touch on?
But yeah, it was just a really great week on days. Though this was it was quality television.
Yeah.
It was just quality. Everything was good about it. It was entertaining, and so that's the button of it.
That is the button of it.
That's the button. So what do you want to do then? Let's make some pizza, I guess.
What kind of pizza do we have?
We just have that one left.
There's only one left? Mm-hmm. Is it thin crust?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we could have that.
I was going to do Insanity, but my leg hurts.
Are you stretching before?
I know, but I'm just so tired of every time I get into the mode where I'm getting stronger and I'm ready to go. It's never really laziness.
Yeah.
It's the disappointment of my foot hurts, my knee hurts. I just want to go run. I just want to go run for 5 miles. My mind won't stop me, but I'll get cramps in my knee, my tendons will get raw, and then I limp home, and then I can't move for 3 weeks. So I have to implement my way back in. But I think it was just the tightness of my hips, I think, is causing all of my issues. I think from my hips
grind it out for you.
Down to my knees, down to my ankles is all attached. And if I try to lay on my side and put my leg over, I cannot put my foot and hand on the ground.
Yeah.
On like I'm so tight in the hips, and over the years, I think that's what's causing my sciatica. And I fell over doing Insanity like a week ago. My knee just gave out, not as I tore anything, but just the severe pain from tightness. I dropped to the ground, and I was like, well, there's that. And then it was fine after 2 days. I just rubbed it out. But I'm getting like tightness.
You gotta listen to your body though too, because even with me and Insanity, I remember one night I had gone really hard and I ended up having like a flare with my back. So I had to take some time off, and now I'm just consistently and slowly getting into it again. You know, you just have to listen to your body.
Yeah.
If you push yourself too much, it's not gonna end well.
I know. I just really want to get in, you know, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
We've been really taking care of. This Saturday is going to be 60 days of diet and exercise.
About that pizza.
Oh, yeah. Well, diet in the sense that we don't order or have high calorie.
Yeah.
Like we don't sit and eat a pint of ice cream or order McDonald's or... I'm definitely having sugar. I'm like, we'll split a thin crust pizza, which will be like 550 calories each.
That's like our first big meal of the day, really. First
we haven't had anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We eat very little calories, so we're doing more of the calorie thing, but then I'll have the ground turkey all the time. And I was so embarrassed of how big I got
no.
2 months ago that I didn't even take a before picture, but I have that before picture January 1st, which I was around the same weight. So once I get confident enough where I lose, like where I want to get to, I know I'm not like overweight, but I mean, I want to see some definition in my abs for once in like the past 5 years. I haven't done it.
We're getting there, baby. We're getting there, and we ain't never looking back.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it. I'm so tired of yo-yoing.
Yeah. But I think that's why I really like what we're doing. We are living a healthy lifestyle, but it's not completely on one side where we're going so crazy where the second you're like, ooh, I want a slice of pizza, that it all comes back, or that you just start going crazy and go off the deep end.
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel like we've kind of not always done, but we've done pretty intense diets, if you will. This is more of a lifestyle diet, exercise, and just, balance.
We're losing like a pound a week.
Yeah.
And I usually lose about 3 if I'm crash dieting. So the scale's frustrating me, but I know that losing a pound a week is going to take longer, but it's going to stay off. Yeah. And I don't feel like I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm just making better choices throughout the day, but I will have pizza. I will have a couple sweets.
Yeah.
But not a whole pizza like you order from Domino's, and then that's where you get in trouble. But putting a flat, thin crust pizza in is not, bad.
No, it's not too bad. And we haven't drank in a while.
Oh, yeah, alcohol?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
no beer.
Well, because I was trying to speed it up.
I know.
I do crave a nice cold brew, but it helps, not helps, but I would definitely not go to a restaurant or a bar.
No, not now.
God bless the people who go. I just isn't worth it.
I think that's why it's been easy though for us not to because one of our favorite things used to be to go to walk to one of our favorite restaurants, grab some food, grab a drink, just have a nice time, walk home. But we can't do that anymore.
Some boneless wings with 2 big beers, and then you walk home like buzzed, and it's just great.
Yeah.
We walk through the neighborhood, but that would be much harder to turn down.
Yeah.
But to just go and grab a 6-pack and sit on the couch,
I'm good.
So once it opens back up, but stopping the drinking, because then also too, when you get a little buzz, you're more likely to be like, let's just get McDonald's, or let's order chicken parmesan. We haven't had a date night.
Yeah, and the next day too, I always want to get some greasy food anytime I drink, or the bad food, so you feel good, and it's a lot harder to say no to that after you've drank that next morning. So not only are you eating that night, but then the next morning
it affects the diet in every way.
It's just not good.
but yeah, so that'll be 60 days. I might not even drink until maybe your birthday, or
July 30th. That'd be kind of fun.
I'll probably do that, and then maybe I'll just wait till Christmas. It'd be kind of nice to do a whole 6 months.
Hey,
this 2 months was pretty easy.
Whatever you feel, my dude.
Now you got me thinking I want a beer with my pizza.
Well, we don't have it.
I know.
We only have champagne in the house.
We do have that red bottle of wine that we took from Lake Arrowhead.
Or a souvenir.
Yeah. Well, they left it, so we paid. I was like, I'm going to take it. We're not drinking right now, but I'm going to take the wine for later.
So funny.
So we'll see, but anyway, thanks for hanging with us, everyone, and
it was great chatting.
We warned you it was going to be goofy.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know how to title this. Britney Spears, Hype House, TikTok, Italian last names, agents and managers suggesting names, days of our lives,
about that.
Eating on set.
Oh, we've been all over this conversation.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, guys. Let us know if you like the coffee-fueled...
Coffee, yeah. People say, can you just do an extra spin-off that's just after dark? We actually thought about that once.
We did.
We can't keep going because it's getting a long episode. We'll talk about it another time. But just a late night, maybe once we get down to our goal weight, and if we can
have a
sample a whiskey, because I want to find a sponsor for the podcast.
Sample a whiskey.
Sample a whiskey. No, because there's other podcasts that do that, where if we're gonna have a sponsor that's gonna send free stuff.
You sample it on air.
Alcohol's great.
Ooh.
Because it's expensive. So if someone sends you a $40 bottle of whiskey, maybe once a month we could do the Freddie Alyssa show after hours, where we'll wait till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, take some questions from the audience.
Oh, that's cool.
Drink a couple drinks and have it be...
We always thought about doing just kind of a little more PG-13 version.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing crazy, guys.
Well, no. We like to keep it obviously friendly so any age can watch, but just...
I don't think anyone under 13 is watching our show. And if you are, what up?
No.
Tic-tackers.
The tic-tackers. The Tic Tackers and their hype house. What's going on?
Oh, boy. I think that's our cue.
That's our cue. Pizza time. Thank
Love
you,
you
everyone.
guys.
We'll talk to you next time.